Hey dudes, we're Mike and Ethan of Smash TV.
Since the late 90s, the popularity of online gaming has been continuing to grow, enabling players of all ages, races and walks of life to connect with each other through a love of video games.
Most gamers will have fond memories of gathering around a TV with your friends and family members and fighting together through blood, sweat and tears to knock over a game. There's no better feeling than the relief of seeing the credits roll and the hugs and high fives that come along with it.
And today, for our first episode of Smash TV, we're bringing the hugs and high fives right back as we give you an insight to 5 great couch co-op games that we've been playing lately.
Yeah. So, what do you think, Stormtrooper?
Okay, let's go.
From creators.emu and developer Pasta Games comes Pang, a part action, part puzzle bubble shooter that brings the intensity up just enough so that you're always on your toes without feeling overwhelmed. The game's story mode can be played through a single or multiplayer, but the 2-player game is where you'll get the most enjoyment. You and a mate each take control of one of the Pang brothers and have to work together to eliminate the cliched alien threat that has come to Earth and seems hell-bent on destroying you with their balls. Yep. As you shoot their balls, they break apart into smaller balls and move faster and change direction with each pop. There are only 2 controls in the game, move and shoot. While it's possible to jump to different levels within a stage, this is done by items such as springboards placed within the stages to become part of the puzzle. This really enables even the freshest of gaming noobs to pick up and start playing, meaning that you can get your game hater girlfriend or your dear old nan involved if you're so inclined. You begin each level with the standard ball busting weapon that is much like the hookshot from the Legend of Zelda series. Throughout your journey, you'll come across a number of various weapon and environment power-ups to assist you in destroying the aliens' balls. The alternative guns are fun to use, but due to a timer on each level, you not only have to use the power-up, but also strategize the best time and area to use it so that you can eliminate the threat. Going all guns blazing will often result in your power-up running out of ammo, not leaving you enough time to clear balls using the standard weapon. In the multiplayer game, you'll need to plan your strategies carefully in some levels, as the wave of falling balls and bombs will prevent you from reaching your partner on the other side of the screen in time to revive them if they're hit. While it's possible to leave your mate for dead and finish the level off yourself, this can be somewhat difficult, and it's much more beneficial to keep your partner on their feet and joining in the battle. You will find the campaign mode in Pang to be rather short, and that you and a friend will probably need no more than a few hours to knock it over. While this is not ideal from a longevity standpoint, in an environment where you and a friend are playing for just a night, it's extremely satisfying to fuck off all the aliens and their balls in one sitting. There are 8 levels in total, each with 15 stages, plus a boss battle in between each one. Boss battles are fun, although it would be nice to see some variation in the looks of the bosses themselves, as they are all exactly the same, with the exception of the final boss. This is not a huge issue though, as the boss battles never really feel monotonous and they bring a nice change of pace from the standard levels. The Japanese visuals in Pang are accompanied by backgrounds and sprites that are easy on the eye, and snappy sound effects that help to deliver a sense of urgency over the top of the backing music. This one is definitely worth a look for those with a few hours to spare.
An indie title by Dissident Logic, Paperbound is an arena battle game featuring 2 to 4 players at a time. Choose your favourite from an extensive roster of quirky characters and begin hacking the shit out of those around you in one of 15 different arenas themed on 5 different books. The game features an interesting yet aesthetically pleasing art style, where the sprites have a distinct hand-drawn look, with the exception being some of the unlockable characters, while the fixed screen arenas vary in looks from stage to stage. Armed with melee attacks, long-range and short-range weapon pickups, Paperbound becomes a fast-paced, chaotic experience that falls into the easy-to-play but hard-to-master category. Controls are relatively straightforward. The characters walk and jump. What changes the dynamic of the game and makes the experience more challenging is the inverted gravity feature, where with the touch of a button, the gravitational pull of your character is switched to the opposite side of the screen. The key to the game is trying to maintain a cool head, While trying to take out your enemies, you need to keep mindful of others sneaking up from behind, flying projectiles, and environmental hazards that, when combined, really make each game a frantic scramble from start to finish. Paperbound also features a single-player campaign which basically serves as an introduction to the various game modes available to play. It's okay playing through the story, although there's not much story to talk about, but the real fun comes in the multiplayer modes. Whether you want to go in hard and smash your mates in a 4-player free-for-all, or choose a teammate for a game of Long Live the King or Capture the Quill, this is one game that will keep you entertained for hours while you try to maintain a hold on your reflexes as the drinks start flowing.
So, Norse god Loki has decided to be a dick and take the remaining good eye that fellow god Odin had and use it against him in conquering the world. Odin's response is to summon a crew of undead Viking warriors to go and get it back. Not much of a story, true, but that's not why we're here. You take control of one of 4 Viking zombies, each with their own unique attacks and abilities, and hack and slash your way through plenty of diverse terrains. As with most side-scrolling beat-em-ups, the gameplay is very simple, but without getting to the point of having to call it a button masher. Each character has light and heavy attacks, as well as a special attack that can get you out of some tough spots when used well. You need to utilise not only your character's individual moveset, but the help of your comrades as well, as Zombie Vikings allows for up to 4 Viking devastating team attacks. Throughout the adventure you'll also be pillaging for coins, which can be used in between levels to upgrade or buy new weapons, as well as purchasing runes to increase your attributes in preparation for tougher battles ahead. The game is a pleasure to look at with its 2D paper-like sprites on a 3D plane. The art style is enhanced by a rich and bright colour palette, giving the game a very cartoon-like feel. While the character animations are simple, they are also quite comical. One of many examples is the way that Sigurd walks. One of the first things you'll notice when playing Zombie Vikings, however, is the sound. The cleverly written dialogue and voice acting between not only the protagonists but the enemies as well will have you laughing out loud with military regularity, and when combined with the visuals really do inject a shitload of personality into all of the game's characters. The voices and animation immediately inform you that while the game may have a darker undertone, its mission is to make you laugh, not shit yourself. Combine all of this with a delightful and original soundtrack, throw in a number of hilarious references to modern pop culture, pre-chill a few cans in the fridge, invite up to 3 mates to come over, and you'll be set for a great night of smashing up a bunch of freaky critters with your pals. I'll drink to that.
Score!
Let's go way back for this one as we take a look at Lost Vikings.
Developed by Silicon and Synapse, known as Blizzard Entertainment, and published by Interplay, The Lost Vikings was released on the SNES in 1992 and 3 years later on numerous other platforms.
The game puts you and a mate in control of 3 Vikings, Eric the Swift, Baljog the Fierce, and Olaf the Stout. Our heroes are plucked from their relatively peaceful lives by Tomato, leader of an alien race who plans to display the fellas as examples of the human species in an intergalactic zoo.
The first mission was to escape Tomato's ship and guide the boys back through 37 levels of puzzle platforming that require brain power and reflexes to navigate.
Each of the Vikings have a different ability that separates them from their counterparts. Eric can run fast and jump, as well as using his head to bash in certain walls and take out some enemies. Baljog is the group's warrior and is armed with a sword and a bow that can be used to eradicate enemies over short and long distances. Olaf is a whole lot of Viking and the muscle of the gang. He uses his shield to protect his mates from being attacked, as a platform when held above his head, and also as a hang glider, allowing him to fall from heights with no damage and to travel further than the others through the air.
The gameplay is essentially turn-based, as only one Viking may be used at a time. The camera will follow the Viking currently being controlled, while the others are off-screen at different sections of the level. The additional challenge in this game is not only completing actions with all 3 Vikings, but when switching to another Viking, ensure that the others are in place where they cannot be harmed.
Throughout the game there is many scenery changes, so the game never gets boring to look at. The art style used in the game is typical 16-bit art that was featured in just about every game of its generation, with a colour palette that is bright and chirpy. The controls are very responsive, and the game itself, while challenging, never feels unfair, as you know that when one of the fellas is killed, it's because you fucked it up yourself.
While it may not be a game that's slipped by too many people, the intention here is to open the eyes of the new generation of gamers looking for something different. The game has developed a cult following, and the Vikings have since made various cameos in such games as Rock and Roll Racing, World of Warcraft, and StarCraft 2.
The Lost Vikings is a game I've been recommending to people since I was a young fella after playing through it with my cousin, and I will continue to suggest that you crack open a bottle of mead and ask a mate to help you guide the boys home again.
Just because you're not a real life rock star doesn't mean you can't act like one if you've got a copy of Frets on Fire. If you're like me and musically retarded, then this game has your name written all over it.
What started off as a simple recreation of Guitar Hero has turned into a free platform to play all your favourite tunes on your PC. The base game comes as a poor man's version of the inspirational title. But thankfully a thriving modding community has added the ability to have the game look like most of the previous release versions of Rock Band and Guitar Hero games, going from the first Rock Band game right up to Guitar Hero the 80s.
The defining feature of the game is definitely the massive library of playable songs, with many including the guitar, bass and drum tracks ready for the player to tear up. Generally, highlighted in blue for some reason, all difficulty levels are supported by some songs. What? Generally, all difficulty levels are supported, but some songs only include hard and expert difficulties, as the skill level of the player can be expected to be quite high amongst the modern community, so get good.
Preferably the game is meant to be played using a Guitar Hero or Rock Band controller, which is supported much like the 360 controller on Windows. But you can just use your keyboard, which may sound daft, but it plays surprisingly well.
The reason the game has made its way onto this list is due to the ability to play two-player split screen co-op, as well as battle modes. You and your other musically slow friend can choose which instrument you want and proceed to shred like the rock star you wish you were, but unfortunately are not, because you're shit.
The game is free on PC, but we're not ones telling you to go download your favourite song illegally. The download link is in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. If there's a game that you think we should play and talk about, let us know in the comments below. If you like what you see, then remember to click like and subscribe and we'll bring you more of it. Until next time.